Good morning. I wanted to hop on today because I don't know about you, but I have tons of 12 by 12 paper that I either don't want to chop up, don't know what to do with. So today I'm going to show you how to make some quick and easy cards with one sheet of 12 by 12 paper. With the 12 by 12, you'll also need, I'll make 3 cards, but you can make double of what I show you. So you'll get 6 cards out of one sheet of Designer Series paper. Now you can do it quick and easy, but I like to add layers. So for my 6 cards, I'll need the one sheet of 12 by 12, 4 sheets of a card base color, and 2 sheets of basic white. So that's really not too bad for creating 6 cards. And they're quick and easy. So we're going to take our 12 by 12, and I'm using retired paper, and I'm going to use Seaside Spray, which is retiring, but I have a lot of this paper left over, so I figured I'd use this as a quick demonstration. So what you're going to do first is line it up on your paper trimmer and cut it at 6 inches. So now you have your 2 6 by 12s. So what we do with this one, you can do again with this one. So I'm just going to put that aside. Now that we have this, we're going to take out our scoreboard, and we are, if my little stylus fell, so we're going to score this, and you want to be careful when you score your DSP. You don't want to press too hard because you'll go through the paper. Although it is heavy, it's not as heavy as your cardstock. So we're going to score it at 4, and then we're going to score it at 8. So you have 3 sections with the scoring. Turn it, and then score it at 1/2. And then we can put this away. Okay, so now that we have this all scored, what we want to do, and I'm going to pull my cutter back out to take away the step of having to mark it. But the score line that you did across, you can fold it so you can get a nice crisp line so you can see it. This score line, and then you have your 1/2 inch score line at the bottom. What you're going to do is you're going to line up the corners of the score line. So I have the 1/2 inch score line here, and then the 8 inch score line here. We're going to line these up so the edge of that score line is lined up with the cutting section of your cutter, and we're going to cut that off so you have a triangle. And we're going to do the same exact thing to the other side. Just line this up. Oops, just like that. Okay, so now we have this crazy shaped and these 2 triangles. Let's look at the triangles first, because I want to just get it set up so we can make our cards. Okay, so it should be about 5 1/4. Let's see. It's 5.5, which for me would be a little too long, because I want to be able to put it on the front of the card. If you know me, I like layers. I do not like having just one layer on the front of my cards. So here is, I'm going to pull this out again so we can, here's a sheet that's 1, 2, 3. This is 5.25 by 5. And I'm going to cut this on the diagonal too. Then we have 2 pieces, and we can work with this piece for the front of the card. Okay, so now we have our 2 triangles. We'll have a card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score this at 4.25. And we'll do the same thing to the second one, 4.25. Just setting up all our pieces. So now we have 2 card bases. And like I said, I like, let me just pull it out over here. I like layers. So I'm going to have a layer of the card base color, which like I said is the Seaside Spray, and this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then a layer that is what did I say this one was? 5.25. This is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and this is 5.25 by 4. I like to layer my inside layers again. So we'll have 2 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 and 2 5.25 by 4s for the inside. And then we have our triangles. Okay? So for these, now this is completely even, and we don't want that. We want it to be a little bit smaller. So just angle this down so you have, and like I said, you could actually take this piece and layer it on the front of your card. Put a ribbon, embellish it, stamp a sentiment, or you could do it this way. But I don't like it being so plain. That's why I'm pulling in an extra piece. So what I'm going to do is just get this even so I have a nice edge, just like that. And that looks pretty good. And then I'm just going to take my pencil and I'm going to make a mark on each side so I can trim this piece off. And we're going to pull out our cutter, line up those marks, and I'm just making sure that it looks like it's pretty even. And we're just going to cut that off. And then since we have that cut, we can take our other piece and line it up and do exactly the same thing. Get it lined up and cut that off. Okay, so now we have our pieces. You can decorate this as much or as little as you want. We're going to just check our pieces now to see if it fits. And that looks pretty good. Now I don't have to worry because my paper is not, we don't have to worry about direction with this DSP. So I can set this on the front of my card any way I want. But now if you have a DSP that is directional, meaning you have to watch the pattern, keep that in mind when you're doing the front of your card. Okay, so now we have our triangles, and you want to make sure that you have it in the right position. We're just going to quick glue these on. And I like the colors in this paper. It's very bold. Oops. Thankfully for glue, we have a few seconds to move it around. Okay, so now we have our pieces. Let's fold up our card base. Now to add a little bit more to the front of my card, I'm just going to grab a block, and I pulled out my daisy lane, figuring the little flowers on the front of this card are daisies. And it comes with the punch, so I don't have to use my cut and emboss machine. So we'll just give it a quick, like I said, quick and easy. There are some days that you need a card quick and you just don't know what to do. This is a quick and easy card to make. Okay, so I am going to look at this, and I think I'll lay it this way. I'm going to grab one of the stamps, the sentiment stamps from this set also. And I grabbed the friend. Just going to line this up to make sure I put this on the front of the card correctly. If I make a mistake, I can always turn it around. Some mornings when I'm in here creating, I can't draw a straight line to save my life. Okay, so let's see. Very light. You can do it in black. And then we're going to layer this on the front of the card. And then for our daisy, let's just pop this up. Put a dimensional in the center. And then I'm just going to grab some Seaside Spray ribbon. Tie a quick bow. Hi Pam, how are you? Sorry ladies. Hi Sue, Anna. Hey Julie, how are you? Sitting here in my own little world, not even paying attention. That's because usually on in the mornings I do my videos for Patreon, and I do them so they're unlisted, so I just sit here and talk to myself. So I am very sorry. Okay, so we're just going to grab this bow, and like I said, you can make these as fancy or as plain as you like. But if you need a quick thank you or a quick note for a friend, I'm not one for not very many layers on the front of the card, so this is actually a little difficult for me to make. That's why I figured I'd add the daisy. And okay, and then we're just going to, like I said, layer the inside with the extra layers. Again, you can add or do whatever you like with the inside of the card. I'm just going to grab my Seaside spray and let me just see. Let me grab a sheet of paper. Okay. And I'm just going to stamp these daisies very quickly. Whoops. Turn it over. Let's start in the middle. And we'll just get 3 on here. Just to tie the outside to the inside. Grab my glue. I should actually grab my seal. Now you're probably wondering what we're going to do with that crazy shaped piece of DSP, and we'll work on that right now. Because like I said, now that this one card is created, I know a lot of demonstrators have lots of leftover paper. These would be quick and easy cards. So you'll be able to make 2 cards, or 4 altogether, with your triangles. So you'll have 4 cards. And then let's grab this crazy piece of DSP. Like I explained in the beginning, it was 6 by 12. We scored it at 4. We scored it at 8. And then we turned it and scored it at 1/2. So we're just going to fold this up. Now the nice thing about Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper, although it's not as heavy as our cardstock, it is much heavier than the Designer Series paper that is available out there. Okay, so now we have all our score lines burnished and folded. We are just going to cut out, I'm just going to turn this over so I can see that score line better. We're going to cut out these rectangles at the end. And I guess you could do it on your scoreboard if you wanted. I'm just looking, and my score is a little wonky this morning. And I just angled that out a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to turn it over. Now for this, I'm just going to warn you, you want to make sure that you have enough tear and tape on this little piece, so when you slide your card in, it doesn't catch. Okay? I made that mistake on the first one I made. So make sure your tear and tape is right to the end of this piece. And what we're going to do is fold this piece up, grab one of your sides, make sure it's lined up, just like that, okay? And then we're going to do it again. This time I'm going to put it on this side. And this is going to be a quick little envelope for this card. And again, you can make 2 of these. And then we're just going to fold this side over, making sure we have it even. Okay. So there's our little envelope. Now we're going to have, I cut extra pieces, so let me just make, this is the one. So then we have to make our inside. And this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/4, and that's the Seaside Spray. And then the basic white is 3 3/4. Hey Margaret, how are you? By 5 1/8. And we're going to do the same thing. This time I want to see where I would have to put my sentiment right about in the middle. And this time we'll use Smile. Grab it out of my stamp box. And we're going to stamp this, these stamps. I'm going to do it down here on the bottom. Just make sure. Okay. So now you'll have plenty of space to write a sentiment. We're going to layer these two together, making sure it's pretty centered. I just moved it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take my punch. I'm just gonna center this as best I can. You could measure it. Give it a quick punch. Grab that pretty seaside ribbon, and we're just gonna cut a length of ribbon and fold it in half. Now, so we have a nice, neat side. Just going to make sure I get this right. We're going to go from the front, feed it through the front of the card to the back, and put those ends in. And then you have this nice front to the ribbon instead of having that knot. And let's just trim these ribbons off. Oops, let's go this way. And then we can insert this just like that. And then for the center of the card, you can add, let's add a bow to match that ribbon on top. Don't forget to pull out those embellishments. You could always add some pretty pearls, rhinestones to glam it up a little bit. We could actually put another little daisy in the middle of this card. Actually, let's do that. So we're just going to pull this off my finger. I'm forever getting it stuck on my finger. Let's grab that piece of scrap paper and our little daisy. And again, we're using the Seaside Spray. Stamp. How quick and easy, huh? Punch out. Let's grab a dimensional. And we can add this little daisy right here to the center. Grab our bow and a glue dot. Glue dots are, gotta pull a new one out right down there to the end of the barrel. And I didn't think that out well, did I? Let's put it right there. Add our bow. Just gonna trim these and then pull them down a little bit. And there you go. Quick and easy little slide in and out card. You'll make 2 of these, and then you can make 4 of these. Now for this one, like I said, you could actually use, and I probably would, use a complete layer and then add this piece, pop up the friend. So I think what I'll do is I'll say goodbye for now, and I will create a few more different cards using this sheet of paper so you can see the variety of cards that you can make using this one sheet, and different designs going from very, very simple to adding a few more elements to make it a little bit more layered. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see everybody later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.